All right, free to play with no pay to win. That's awesome because there's been there's been a little bit of talk about some games doing that recently with what is it now? The NBA 2K. Apparently, the new one has got just a way too much with the microtransactions and a bit pay to win, and pay to win just sucks anyway. And regardless whether it's a full price game or not, anytime you got a pay to win model, it's just not worth it really, because then it's just literally not about who is good at the game, as it's about who's willing to spend the most money on the game. And at that point, it's just like, well, I'm not. So you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not a big fan of microtransactions just in general. You know what I mean? Even when they're done right, so I'm not a particularly big fan of them. I have bought microtransactions. I probably will buy a few more in the future, but I'm not really a big fan of the whole idea. That said, it's even worse when it comes to it's pay to win stuff, where it's like just that way that at that point it's just, you know what, no, nuh-uh. No. Man, those AAA developers, that's EA and Warner Brothers, are smoking crack on those microtransactions for real, man. I'm done with those games and supporting them for a long time until they change their models. Exactly. I mean, look, I mean, I get it. Games like the whole sort of $60 price tag doesn't quite cover what it costs to run a game these days, especially when you consider that a lot of stuff is online and you got the multiplayer servers that you're not always making. You got to maintain those somehow. I get it. I get there's money to be made, and don't get me wrong, I'm not. And even with things like microtransactions or DLCs, etc. It's like, oh wait, oh no, that's a different area. DLCs, etc. is like, what I mean. There's ways it can be done where it's just a little less piss takey, but then there's a point where it's like, come on, you gotta know it's just a bad idea. And the thing is, what really makes it terrible, what really makes it bad, is that that there's gonna be enough people who just don't care about that sort of stuff and are going to buy into it, and they're going to keep buying into it because they don't know any better. And then because of that, the developers, publishers, going to be like, oh yeah, cool, we'll keep doing it then. And then before you know it, the best people at the game are going to be like these little rich kids who wait, got a hold of their dad's credit card or something, and it's like, oh jeez, this ain't right, man. This ain't right. I'm all for developers trying to make as much money as they can, publishers trying to make as much money as they can. I don't have a problem with that. But there's better ways to do it. And if you're going to do microtransactions, at the very least, don't take the piss with them. You know what I mean? Don't make people pay to win. And even the prices of some of these microtransactions are ridiculous. I remember when microtransactions sort of first came up on the scene. They weren't called microtransactions back then. They were just called piss takes back then. But I don't remember this. But it was like Double Dragon, the arcade for Double Dragon. Where you pay your credit, your 30p credit to play the game, and then you go inside a shop in a shop inside the game, and it'd be a weapon shop, and then you'd have to pay real money, like it'd be like something like 10p, I think it was like 10p, real 10p, that you put in another 10 pence in the machine to buy the weapon. So you had to pay for to play the game. You have to pay for your credit for the game. Then you had to pay additional for the weapon, and you'll buy the weapon for like 10p or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was 10p. And you come out of the shop, you maybe get a couple of hits, but as soon as you get hit, your weapon drops and it disappears, and you can't pick it back up again. You have to go in the shop and buy another one for another 10p. It's like, no, you're taking a piss, mate. So yeah, microtransactions have been around a while, and they were just never really liked back then either. But it's just even worse now. I mean, 10p at least it's only like back then was no, to be fair, 10p back then was a lot of money. But 10p now is like, a lot more reasonable than trying to charge people like £5, £20. Sometimes deals, the transactions cost more than the bloody game. How is that a micro transaction when the damn thing costs more than an actual game? That's not micro. What the hell, man? My mini rant. That's right. They grab those people with the deep pockets and don't care about the midway men that play new releases. And that $60 price tag is more than deep enough. You know what I mean, man? You know what I mean? The problem is we settled that as gamers and said that cosmetic or minor microtransactions were okay, and the companies just pushed that envelope like loot boxes. The new microtransactions, yeah, exactly. So like, you know, you got these things where I'm gonna get TP back. All right, cool. In a bit, banter. But yeah, you got these things where it's like, yeah, you buying like sort of like skins or just, you know, like cosmetic things that don't change the game in any, you know, intrinsic way. And that sort of thing, I guess, again, I'm not a big fan of it. You know, especially it just seems a bit, to me, it seems like a waste of money. I have bought them in the past, to be fair, but yeah, I would say that they didn't come across to me as a waste of money, especially when they cost like, you know, £5 a box or 20, you know, I mean, some ridiculous money like that. But yeah, you're right, you know, because I guess we've sort of accepted that, and we as gamers as a whole, you know, we've kind of accepted that as, okay, cool, this is all right, and they kind of push it a little bit here, and maybe, you know, they did it, you know, people aren't saying anything, and then all of a sudden you get a game like, you know, NBA 2K or whatever, or other games that do similar things that push it just a little bit too far, and people say something. But I don't know, man. I think a game like 2K is that they've got their massive fan base already, and a lot of their fans, as far as I'm aware, at least anyway, are sort of the casual gamers, the people that don't pay attention to, you know, sort of gaming news and that whole thing. So for them, they probably don't care too much that they're paying, you know, to buy haircuts and, you know, haircuts and tattoos and other stuff that gives them an edge. They probably don't care about that kind of stuff, because they're probably, I don't know if they're happy to do it, but they're probably not angry enough to not do it. You know what I mean? A lot of them, at least that's from my understanding of it anyway. I may be completely wrong on that, you know, and hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully there are enough people, even enough casuals, to say, no, you're taking a piss, and just like, no, I ain't gonna do it. You know, I ain't gonna do this, man. You've pushed it too far. You pushed me too far. Ain't gonna do it. I remember like one microtransaction I bought back in the day on the Xbox, the original Xbox. It was for Project. No, what was it for? Yeah, it was Project Gotham Racing 2 on the original Xbox, and it was a car that you can buy, and it was like the fastest car in the game, or the something like that. Maybe not the fastest car in the game, but certainly one of the most fastest and well balanced cars in the game that you can buy. I think it was maybe a pound or something like that at the time, £1 or £2, and I bought it thinking like, yeah, this is going to give me the edge. That's the reason why I bought it, to be fair, because I mean, I wasn't terrible at the game. Like, it was a game that I played a lot, but you know, when it comes to getting those high, like really fast times and stuff like that, you know, especially trying to go online and, you know, do the whole leaderboard thing, you know, that's where it was kind of like, okay, you know, let me see if I can get this car to get an edge. But the good thing about that, I would say, at least with that game, although the reason I bought it thinking I was going to get an edge on it, not quite, because of course a car like that, it doesn't just give you a fast time. You need to learn how to handle that car. And it wasn't just a case of, oh, you buy the car and they can get fast times. It wasn't like that. You know, you had to learn how to, because it doesn't drive like other cars. You know, you had to, where you handle it, where you turn corners. That was the whole different skill set. So I would say at the very least, it wasn't complete, kind of maybe pay to win a little bit to an extent, you know, but not completely pay to win at the very least, because you still had to learn how to use the car to a point where you can get those fast times, you know. So at least they did that. But now, yeah, apparently that's out the window. It's just like, oh yeah, give us some money and you will give you something that will just give you great scores, even if you're not very good at it. You know, it's just all right. I remember the browser battlefield grabbed my pockets when it helped speed up release on guns. I admit I welled on that, but then I was more of a novice online gamer then. Yeah, you know, I think most of us, if not all of us, have done it at some time, you know what I mean? I know I certainly have. But it's things you learn from as well, right? You know what I mean? So we've done it in the past. Whether it was a good experience or a bad experience, you know, you kind of learn from that and realize, okay, cool, I've done it now. You know, maybe I wouldn't say I'm never going to do it again. I might do. But certainly not we look at it and it's like, okay, not the pay to win stuff, definitely not that. You know, that it just absolutely cannot support, not at all. I don't even play NBA 2K anyway, so I guess it doesn't affect me that much. But at the same time, it's like, look, I could see, and especially when it's a game that is popular, because other publishers are going to be looking at it and say, okay, well, we'll see how this goes and see how people respond to it. And if there are enough people who respond positively and do buy into it, that somehow, some way they're gonna work it into other games. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe you don't play NBA 2K, but maybe you play FIFA. They work it into that. In fact, I think FIFA kind of does that already. Anyway, I don't play FIFA myself, so I don't know to be sure. But I think FIFA has something pretty similar anyway. But yeah, they might start working it into other games that you do play. Maybe the next shooter game that you want to get, and oh yeah, you having trouble with this boss? How about you give us some money and you can bypass this boss, or we give you this super duper weapon where you can beat the boss with one shot, or stuff like that. And it's that slippery slope. I know it's a kind of corny thing to say, but it's what it is, man. It's that slippery slope that we seem to be on. And maybe it's not as slippery as people think it is. Maybe it's just like a little, because we're not sliding super fast, but we're sliding. We might not be sliding fast, but we're sliding. We're sliding. I'm constantly gravy on cosmetics. But like the 2K game is taking stylized dunks and micro transactions, those out. Microtransactions, those out. Yeah, that is a little more than a cosmetic, because dunks have certain distances. Yeah, exactly. So it's down to, I don't know if you're paying to be able to do a dunk, or a 3-pointer, or some kind of fancy trick shot or something like that. Yeah, that's going to affect how you play the game. And apparently, I believe I did hear that it affects online as well. Like the moves you can buy, you can use online as well as offline. So yeah, that's boy, that ain't good, man.